All right, so here we're supposed to write the general antiderivative. So what do? Well, we can go ahead and think about that. Again, we can break this into pieces if we have to. And that's going to be the 25x to the fourth dx plus integral 6x cubed dx minus integral of 10 dx. Or we can look at it straight across and do it either way. So either way we do it, what we have to do is we're going to take 25x to the 4 plus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 plus, now the integral here is going to be 6x to the 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1. And then we have minus 10 to the x to the 0 plus 1 over 0 plus 1. And then remember, it's general, so plus c. Now, can we simplify that? Yeah, sure. That's going to be 25 divided by 5, so that's going to give us 5x to the fifth plus, and that's going to be 3 plus 1 is 4, 6 over 4. We could do that to 3 halves, and in the numerator, we still have what? X to the fourth. And then minus, well, that's just going to be 10x, and then we have plus c. So that would be our general antiderivative for the original one we were given. And again, that probably should have a parenthesis there. So it was missing, and it looks like it's missing here too. All right, so what about this one? Well, in this one, what we can do is we can rewrite this. That might be the easiest thing to start with. That's 16x to the negative 3 plus 4x to what's that? Well, that's to the half plus 1 dx. Now, if you have it all in a row like this, we can do exactly what we did here before and just add 1 divided by the n plus 1, and we're good to go. So if we do that, what do we have? Well, that's going to be 16x to the negative 3 plus 1 divided by a negative 3 plus 1 plus 4x to the 1 half plus 1 divided by 1 half plus 1. And then that's plus 1 times x to the 0 plus 1 over 0 plus 1. And don't forget your plus c. All right, so now what do we have? Well, minus 3 plus 1 is going to be a minus 2. 16 divided by a negative 2 is a negative 8. And so here we have x to the minus 3 plus 1 is going to be x to the negative 2. All right, so now what do we have? Plus. Well, here we have a half plus 1. Well, that's 3 halves. And so if we have 3 halves on the bottom, let's kind of write that so we know what that is. So it equals 3 halves. If we multiply by the reciprocal, that's 2/3. And so 2/3 times 4, that's going to give us 8/3. So it's going to be 8, and we'll put our x here and then over 3. And x is to what? Well, that's to the 3 halves. Okay. Now our last one, we have just basically plus x, and then we have plus c. Now we could simplify and change these. We could say, well, that's really a negative 8 over x squared plus, now we could have this as 8/3 times, well, this is x to the third and then the square root of that. So we could take the square root of x to the third, then plus x plus c. And then that final thing here is going to be what our solution is. In the most simplified terms, putting it back with radicals and everything else when positive exponents, where we put it down to the denominator to make it so it's positive. Okay. All right. Here we're supposed to write the general derivative and general antiderivative of the given rate of change function. So the rate of change in the average size of a farm is given by f of x equals blah, 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 and where x is the number of years since 1900, data from 1900 to 2010. Well, what we need to do is take the integral of negative 0.003x squared minus 0.409x minus 5.604, and then that's going to be dx. And we won't worry about units till the end here. And so that's going to be what? Well, if we take the integral of this, minus 0.123x to the 2 plus 1, and we have that all over 2 plus 1. Now, after that one, we're going to stop doing a plus 1. We're just going to start doing that in our head and adding it down. And then minus, we have 0.405x to the 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. And then minus 5.604, and that's going to be x to the 0 plus 1 over 0 plus 1, and then we have plus c. So now let's simplify this. Well, that's a 3. That can go into there, so that's going to be a negative. Oh, well, we should probably write this. So remember, when we're taking the general antiderivative, that's going to give us capital F of x. And so that's a negative 0.001 x to the 3 minus, now that's going to be a 2, so if we divide that by 2, that's going to be 204, 2 goes in there, that 0, 2025. Let me see. My brain says don't do it that way. 0.2025. Okay, I was right. All right, so negative 0.2025 x to the second, and then minus, well, that's just a 1, so it's going to be 5.604x plus c. And so that would be our general antiderivative. Okay. All right, what about the next one? Again, like I said, we're not going to do the 2 plus 1s. We're just going to put the value on the first time, and then after that, if we have to simplify, we can do that. So we're going to take the integral of a negative 1.186 t to the third plus 34.38 t squared minus 304.155 t minus 611.815, and then that's going to be a dt, it looks like. Okay. Now, start over here first. So that looks like we get negative 1.186 t to the fourth divided by 4. And then we have plus 34.38 t to 2 plus 1 is 3 over 3. And then minus 304.155 t squared over 2 minus 611.815 t over 1. And so we don't have to do that. And then plus c. So let's get all this written down now. So if we do that, we have 1.186 divided by 4. So we get, it looks like our capital U of t is equal to negative 0.2965 t to the fourth. And then we have 34.38 divided by 3. Divided by 3 is 11.46, and that's a plus, and that's a t cubed. And we have a minus, and we have 304.155 divided by 2, 152.0775 t squared. And then we have our 611.815. Oh, that's just going to be itself. It's not going to actually have a number, so it's just going to be minus 611.815 t plus c. Oh, and we forgot our units. What was this one going to be? This is acres, because remember when we take the integral, we drop the per, and we just get acres. And so here, this one, we drop the per year, so we just have 1,000 people. And so that would be our solution there, okay? All right, so here we're supposed to write a formula for capital F, the specific antiderivative. So here we have to do the specific. So it's something we haven't done yet. So what do we have to do here? Well, apparently we're going to be doing the antiderivative of this. And so that one, we have to know that the integral of 1 over u is equal to the ln of u, basically. Okay, so that going, we're going to take the integral of 2 over u plus u is equal du is equal to what? Well, that's going to be 2 ln u plus, that's going to give us a u squared over 2, and then plus our c, and that's equal to f of u. Okay, now they say capital F of u is f of 1. So this is our input, this is our output. And so what we have to do is we have to say now, okay, well, we're going to take 2 ln of 1 plus 1 squared over 2 plus c equals, and it's supposed to equal 5. Well, now we just plug that into our calculator. So 2 times ln of 1 plus 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So if we subtract off 0.5 here, we get C is equal to 4.5. So our F of U is 2 ln U plus U squared over 2 plus 4.5. And that then would be our specific antiderivative. Okay. Now, next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the integral of 25p plus 3 and then dp, and that's going to be equal to what? Well, it's going to be 25p squared over 2 plus 3p, and that's over 1, plus c. Okay. All right, so what does that give us? Well, now we have to plug in 2 for p, and that's supposed to equal 3. So 3 equals 25 times 2 squared over 2 plus 3 times 2 plus c. All right, so now if we do all that, we have 25 times 2, because the 1, 2 is going to cancel, plus 6. So we're going to subtract 56 from both sides. So it looks like when we do that, C is equal to negative 53. So our F of P is going to be, and then if we take and we write it without the fraction, we could say, well, that's 12.5 P squared plus 3P minus 53. And that then would be our solution. Again, we could write that as 25 over 2, but if we wanted just the decimals instead, we would do that. All right, let's stop there and we'll come back for more.